Welcome to CBS Sports HQ. Jenny Dell here on this Thursday afternoon. Now, people might think early, mid-July, slow sports day. Not here. We're talking college football. We've got Wimbledon. We've got golf to get to in a moment, but we're going to start in the NBA. That's where Cooper Flagg, the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, will make his summer league debut tonight in Las Vegas. The Mavericks set to take on Bronny James and the Lakers at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, Flagg was the National Player of the Year last season at Duke, leading the Blue Devils in all major categories. You want to see this matchup? You are going to have to pay a pretty price for it. This is according to Vivid Seats right here. The average ticket price for the day, around $223. Cheapest seats, let's see, I think they're around $85. Most expensive seats, we're looking $2,374 if you want to go courtside with this action. Now, when it comes to what we can expect from Flagg in his debut, well, reports from his workouts with the Mavs, sources have consistently praised his performance, using words like unreal, going insanely well. He's a complete beast. That describes his shooting, his athleticism, and overall game. Head coach Jason Kidd hinted at putting Flagg in a unique position for his debut tonight.
I want to put him at the point guard. I want to make him uncomfortable and see how he reacts, being able to run the show. But we want to push, and I think he's going to respond in a positive way. It's all right to fail.
It's something that Coach Shire talked a lot about last year. The obstacle is the way, and not hiding from anything. There's going to be a lot of challenges, so just being ready to face challenges and overcome them.
Looking at Cooper Flagg last season, some of the averages, team ranks, you just see first. I mean, that's not a bad stat line when you take a look at it, averaging 19.2 points per game. We got our Ashley Nicole-Moss joining us now. If you take a look at these notable summer league debuts, we talked about the prices. The only game that was more expensive was when Wemby made his debut back in 2023. I mean, people are going to be paying a hefty price for this. So, of course, all eyes are going to be on Cooper Flagg. Bronny James there is going to be there as well. We'll get to that in a second. But what kind of stat line are we expecting for tonight? Not to put you on the spot, but give us some numbers.
Points,
rebounds, assists. What do you think?
This is crazy to me. And
I know.
2003, obviously, I was a kid. I don't even remember this stat line of LeBron James, but this is a very interesting graphic.
Just a child.
Just a child. Just a wee little girl. I actually think that Cooper Flagg is going to have a pretty explosive debut. I'm thinking 17 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Why? We already know what he was able to do at college. And I remember last season, he was giving buckets to Team USA. That was just the urban legend, if you will, but amongst all the players, of just how well this kid was playing still in college. And I just think that transition from the collegiate game to the professional game for him is going to be smooth. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. No. There's going to be a lot of room for improvement. And this could be completely wrong because Wemby, who was the biggest prospect since LeBron James, as you can see, didn't have a stellar debut. Didn't have a stat line a lot of people anticipated he was going to have. Now, granted, he was making the transition from the European game to the American game, so that was a little bit of the reason why. But I don't know. I'm going 17, 7, and 5 for Cooper Flagg.
All right.
I think he is built for this moment.
Those are some good numbers there. You take a look. I mean, Damian Lillard's really the only one, and John Wall here that had
these games.
Great success in their first time out. We'll see what to expect from that one tonight. So 17,
7, and 5.
All right.
We'll see.
Put it down right
I think the betting line is actually around that, too.
Oh, so maybe she took a little look at that. So you see LeBron James down here, and of course, we all know Bronny James. There's just so much expectation when it comes to him, and he's off to a bit of a rough start in his second year, struggling to find that rhythm, that consistency that everyone's hoping to see from him. How concerned should the Lakers be at his development at this point?
It's like a 50-50 for me, and I say that because, granted, Bronny really entered the league a lot sooner than he probably should have, and we all know the conversations that arose during the draft process and him going into the draft and him ultimately leaving college. But I mean, look at this stat line. This 2 points, for example, was against the Spurs, excuse me. So 2 points, 1 from 5 from the field. Mind you, that was in around 15 minutes of action. And when you go to the Cali Classic, he averaged 6 points total, and he shot 33% from the field and 28% from the three. So you're not seeing the development, especially for someone who had nice showings with the South Bay Lakers, the G League team, obviously this season. We all know that he saw some action with the Lakers, the actual Los Angeles Lakers. But the concerning thing is this: you want to see the progression each and every summer league. And obviously Bronny has something working against him, and that's the fact that he did enter the league a lot sooner than people thought that he should have. So his development because of that is a little behind the grain. And if you actually watch him play tonight against a Cooper Flagg, for example, the differences between the two are going to be glaring. And that is because you have somebody who, again, it's not like Cooper Flagg was at university all 4 years, but you can see with that development of a guy who actually played in a collegiate program, and especially one of the top, does for their development going into the professional game. And you can see the differences between him and Bronny, and they're going to be glaring tonight.
We'll have to see how that all plays out on the court. Now, Shams came out with a full story about LeBron James exercising his $52.6 million option for next season and what that means for the Lakers. You take a look at the tweet right here. Rich Paul said, "We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and in his career." I feel like that's pretty telling right there. The question is, did the Lakers do enough to appease LeBron this offseason?
They drafted his son. I mean, they drafted his son, who, for all purposes, I mean, if we're going to be honest, was not NBA ready. They did that to appease him. And here's the reality of the situation. LeBron more than likely is not going to stay with the Lakers after this season, and that either via retirement or he's going to go elsewhere. But if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you're kind of not upset by that, and here's why. $53 million is a lot of cash, and it's tying up what the Lakers can do financially to build a team around the future of their franchise, and that's that guy right there, Luka. So if you're the Lakers, yes, LeBron James brought you the championship, the bubble championship. We all know the controversy surrounding that. But ever since then, it has been much ado about nothing. And you have to start thinking about the next iteration of this Los Angeles Lakers team. And you have to know every player, almost every player that you were able to get financially and logistically, you got LeBron James. You drafted his son. Now, granted, it wasn't like it was a deep draft. So for people who say, oh, they wasted a draft pick, I don't believe that. It's not like, you know, D Wade was waiting in the second round. It wasn't that deep of a draft, but still, you did that to appease LeBron. And ultimately, if LeBron leaves the Lakers, which I think is going to happen sooner rather than later, whether he's traded, whether he asks out, or ultimately retires, his last remaining, I guess, imprint is that he got his kid a roster spot, and that's probably what he wanted to do, and the Lakers did that to appease their star.
For those who don't know, Rich Paul is a Clutch Sports CEO, just to point that out there. You think
and
about
LeBron's BFF.
And LeBron's BFF. That's I mean, LeBron, 40, going into his 23rd year in the NBA. That's a record setter right there.
It was a successful tenure in LA. It won a championship. Let's not say it was a failure, but it has run its course.
Okay, so it has been a busy offseason for all teams involved. You've been working nonstop. The latest deal, Devin Booker and the Suns agreeing to a 2-year, $145 million extension through 2030. Four-time All-Star, spent his entire 10-year career in Phoenix. Now set to earn $316 million with the Suns over the next 5 seasons. Were you surprised by the numbers, or do you think it's expected?
Wasn't surprised by the number. The numbers are only going to get bigger. Wait until next season when guys like Luka and the list goes on and on have to get paid. It is going to make NFL quarterbacks wish they played basketball. But this is going to, I mean, look at that number in 2029, 2030, $72.5 million. Sorry, it starts actually earlier than that, 2028, 2029. But that's a lot of cash. Here's the thing, I'm not surprised by it at all. Devin Booker has been the focal point of this Phoenix Suns team for his entire career. Here's where it's going to get interesting. Right now, the Suns are currently $13 million above the second apron, and a lot of that has to do because they're paying Bradley Beal a nice chunk of change, and obviously they've been trying to move him with no luck just yet. But this is where it's going to get interesting because, as we know, the NBA rights are going to change the money, and it's going to make it easier to pay certain guys, but harder to build teams around them because of that. And when you're paying Devin Booker such an exorbitant amount of money, and granted, Devin Booker's game has been pretty even-keeled. It's not like he's made substantial jumps in the past few seasons. He's been pretty much the same for a couple of seasons, which isn't bad. It's still very efficient. It's still superstar status. But when you talk about the Phoenix Suns and trying to build a team that can win, paying a player of this much money is going to make that a little bit difficult. So obviously Bradley Beal, when he's ultimately moved, is going to clear some space. You're going to have to wonder what they're going to do with Jalen Green, because after next season, his agent's going to be like, all right, let's start having those conversations. Where's the cash? The Phoenix Suns are going to have to do a lot of restructuring because of how much they're paying Devin Booker, and they're going to have to figure out how to build a team without putting themselves in an exorbitant hole where that luxury tax is going to get hefty.
You talk about that consistency. Booker averaging 25 points in each of the past 7 seasons. Ashley Nicole-Moss with the latest in the NBA. We got Summer League games tonight. Are you watching every night?
I'm watching a little bit here and there, but I'm definitely going to watch this one.
So the cool thing about Summer League, too, is you buy tickets to one game. You get the entire slate of games. So everyone that's paying that exorbitant amount of money for the Lakers-Mavs matchup, hey, you get to stick around and see some other action as well.
10 degrees in Vegas, Jenny. I do not envy those people.
No, stay inside. Just stay inside. All right, what are we talking about on Triple Threat, Ash?
It was our season finale.
Oh,
and we talked all things NBA. We kind of did a little memory
recap,
if you will. And we played a little hypothetical of which team would you rather. So definitely check that out.